Okay. Call this meeting to order at 7:04. This is a special meeting of the select board to hopefully discuss and hopefully finalize the budget. Members of the board present are Carl Haynes, Isaac Yackel, Terry Redfield, Robin Chestnut Tangerman, and attending remotely Sean Ruck. Jenny Talkie-Maniac, town treasurer, is here. Chris, are you here as a private citizen or behalf on of a
Private citizen.
Chris Fenton is a private citizen, and the library board is here and remotely enforced.
So 2 board members and 2 staff members.
The public
Otherwise,
library is well represented.
Otherwise, we have a meeting.
So Crystal Haynes, Kimberly Bushnell, and Bree Gunter are here in the office in person, and Haley Kenyon is online, attending remotely. So, I suppose I should pull up the agenda and follow that. Okay, thank you. Are there any additions or deletions?
Yeah, a couple of minor ones later on, talked about transfer station. Gonna be colder than heck. Saturday, we'll talk about that and something else. An executive session for personnel for a minute or two.
Okay. Chris, public comment? Are you prepared to go now, or would you?
I'm all good.
Okay. So the budget meeting, let's get down to brass tacks. I assume that if we discuss the library allocation at first, then half of you, half of this group can go home and stay warm. So at the last meeting, we did reduce the proposed reducing the library allocation by $10,000. The board does know that we cannot, we have no say in where those numbers are made, changes are made, how that's done. It's just the final number. So I understand that you are here with a proposal.
Yes. So, yeah, I would just say, as you said, the select board has the authority, obviously, to decide on an allotment that you feel like is appropriate given the bigger picture that you're dealing with. So did that, which is fine. So I would just say, just to clarify, initially we had one proposal, then we came back, it was down by $4,000, which was not just a math error. There was a math error in there, but it was also raising some of the fundraising lines as well. One in line to kind of go along with what is turning out to be quite a boon of a annual appeal this year. And then the Friends of the Library kind of contribution went up as well. So those were just a couple of just clarifying points. I'm just looking at my notes here. So this budget as presented, we feel really strongly is already at its minimum, and it's what we need to be able to get in that building and do the things that we need to do to make sure that the space is utilized in a way and it meets our goals as a board, and it meets our goals of the grant, and it meets our goals for the community. So that said, I think our board met, and we would, since you've made the decision to take that money out of the allotment, that's fine, but we would ask that you put it on the ballot as a separate item so that it can be voted on separately, because we do feel like that money and the budget as a whole in this form is really what we need to do what we want to do in the new space. So we do have some wording around that as a what do you call it, a suggestion, proposal, I don't know what you call it.
Well, and just to be clear, I think the allotment went down more than $40 more than that's what we made a round number for the warning.
That's it right. So yeah, so that's what I would say. Oh, here, we should actually hand out sort of the version that includes this budget or this amount. So you'll see it on that line, there you go, Debbie, thank you, Bree.
I have one.
So you have one, right? Okay, so you'll see it reflected there. And it's called expansion fund, so that's, as you see on the proposal for the ballot item, that's how we're kind of phrasing it, but basically it's part of the allotment that we need to do, run, the library. And, so I would say that should this not pass, or should it not get on the ballot, that, we would figure out a way, it would go back into our sort of, bottom line for the fundraising goal. Because it is important and we feel like this is what we need, so, and there was some conversation at the last meeting around the position and the costs, and sort of that's how you sort of landed on that piece of money, that it was about this extra position, and so we feel that having that position is, again, really vital to being able to do the things that we want to do over there, and having that position to do programming really frees up other staff to do the work of, specifically the director, to do the work of continuing to find other money and to manage the fundraising and to manage the grants, so that we can fulfill our promise from the beginning that all of the costs of an increased space aren't going to fall to the taxpayers, that they will continue to be mitigated by some fundraising and some donors and all of that stuff. But finding those things and making sure they have some longevity and are sustainable, that's work that has to be done by someone. And so we need to make sure that we're factoring all of those factors in. I guess that's all I would say, unless you all wanted to add.
No, I was only gonna point out that on the budget, we just handed out the lines that are highlighted, up towards the top are the ones that changed since last time you saw it. So you didn't have to.
Yeah, it's
study the whole
but
thing. The,
it's there in gray.
yeah.
Any
I think that's fine. I think all we have to do, if we put this on the ballot, I think all we have to do is add the deemed necessary language and. You know, blah, 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 and it serves the residents of the town and whatever, we might have to make that jive a little bit with,
That's what I was going to say, that
the name off the top of
it's
my head.
actually good to do it this way, because if it were petitioned, we can't change a word of it. But like this, we can amend the wording, and with your
Right.
okay, and if an article is voted separately, it has to be deemed necessary and has to serve the residents of Middletown.
Oh, those are phrases that have to be included. Gotcha.
Right.
So,
Would this be similar to the $20,000, would that have been voted on the same way the building fund that we've been funding for the past couple of years? Was it on the ballot as its own
It was initially
for the first time?
for a couple of times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But then it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right.
and so I'm assuming that you're not looking for a separate $10,000 line item on successive budgets, but it's hopefully all enrolled into one budget supported by the town. Is that
Yeah, I mean, I think we can't project what next year will be. We're hoping that the fundraising will outstrip what we expect, because that's always how I look at fundraising, that it, like, let's believe we're gonna get enough. So I don't know. But I don't foresee a separate, I'm hoping not to need a separate line, article to.
But not like the building. I mean,
So-
not like.
Maybe that's not your question.
I'm clarifying that this is a one-time ask, not intended to pass once and continue.
No, not as a separate thing in the budget, no, but should in the future, we present a budget and then you decrease the allotment and we feel like we
Right.
need more, then maybe,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not as just a standing separate
Yeah.
thing every time, no.
Because next year it would be rolled into the budget having been passed, is that correct?
No.
Okay.
Next year it'll be a new budget. And the.
Right, the
request
same
for an
process
allocation.
again.
Okay.
We're gonna have a
Yeah.
better handle on what the expenses are gonna be for the new building. after a whole year goes by as well, because we're guessing on a lot of this stuff right now.
Right.
So,
And we'll be well into our fundraising campaign, so we'll have a better sense again, how much that can subsidize, so that we'll be in a much better place next budget round for having a really good sense of both that budget year, but then hopefully going forward, like what all that's gonna look like. That's okay.
I guess my question is, why are we taking the 10,000 out of their ask? And because the library is very well supported in this town. If it goes on the ballot as a $10,000 line item separately, it's gonna pass no matter what. So I don't see any benefit. I don't know all the thinking behind taking it out. If we need to find other funds in our budget to make sure that we're looking that way. I mean, my take is that probably all of us sitting here don't know all the money that we have laying around. You know, we have $15,000 in a tax stabilization fund. So when you went to set the tax rate this year, we could use that $15,000 to offset this $10,000, and it wouldn't be an increased burden on the taxpayers. You know, we already have that money set aside. All the excess funds that are left over every year goes into a reserve fund. We have a number of reserve funds, and we have hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. So we may be going penny wise and pound foolish. You know, my feeling is give them their ask. You know, they do a wonderful job with the new library that's coming. It's going to be more expensive, you know, just like we used to pay rent up there for $350 a month, and this building is a lot more expensive, but it's a lot nicer. We know it's going to cost more to operate, but if it's all down to the bottom line, you know, the voters support the library immensely. So it.
How do you know that? For sure, because how do you know they support it?
Well,
I know they.
what is the reasoning that the board took money out of their ask?
I can tell you my reasoning. My reasoning is that it's going to be an extremely difficult year, on a state level. School tax increases will probably be brutal. My goal is to present as close to a level budget as possible. By taking that $10,000, so again, my perspective, the library ask went up substantially. If we do a modest increase, take that 10,000 out, there isn't a red flag warning there that says, hey, this library's a big jump. It keeps the tax increase under 3%, 2.7%, I think. And I think that is a responsible budget to present to the town. I have no objection at all to this.
And that'll be a good test to see how it's supported, right? Because otherwise it's buried in the whole budget and nobody knows for sure. They don't understand that they can, you know, they vote for the whole budget, not a piece of it.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
So that's my thinking for your information as well. Because, what I'm trying to do is present a palatable budget to the town, knowing that there will be increases coming from the state and loss of revenue in other programs that people rely on.
Yeah. And I certainly understand that. I mean, to the logic of it's sort of hidden in the bigger budget and it's, people don't really see it and know that it's its own increase and it's a big increase. Certainly understand that. You could also say that many people don't really understand that all of the other things that they vote on later on get rolled into the budget, and that's, so 2.7% is just, it's a number before all that other stuff happens. And so you could say that people also don't understand that, and if they vote for this separately, it will roll back into the budget and it will all, come to wash, so. People don't understand it either way.
Well, the 2.7% does include all of the other
Oh, it does, all of it.
allocations.
Yeah.
Not the fire department or Polkney Rescue Squad.
Okay, so those are big allocations,
Those get voted on separately.
right, so that's gonna roll it in, and it's
Same
not maybe
as-
2.7%.
Same as last year.
Yeah.
They're both funded the same.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, Crystal. We've said that for years, that we didn't believe people understood all those different 25 or
Right, yeah.
$500 here, whatever.
right,
That's not in our budget, that comes in afterwards, but yeah, we
Right.
changed that a couple of years ago.
right, and then things
So-
get recalculated, right?
So they're built in the budget now unless the ask is different,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh, I see, right.
which we did have one this year. It came for a variety of reasons. It
Yeah.
Came in late and according to their own calculations, it was wrong and whatever, so we left it at last year's.
Mhm.
Only $125 and asked for $250, but
Mhm.
we'll deal with it next year.
My question, I guess, would be, what is the benefit or detriment of using a tax stabilization reserve fund on this
I think we will use that.
anyway?
That,
Yeah.
that gets
Okay.
used when you set the tax rate.
Yeah.
And you don't roll that in now. But if this gets voted to the affirmative, then we could use that, so you're not raising the amount of taxes. The wording that's in the proposed thing, once again, 5,000 goes into that tax stabilization fund, and up to an additional 50,000 goes into a reserve fund for whatever we want to use it for in the future. And that's just basically excess money. Cause if that wording's not on the ballot, that excess money would automatically reduce the taxes raised the following year as an excess. That's what it used to do. But then if you have a shortfall one year, you're behind the 8 ball and you have to tax them to play catch up. So that's where the tax stabilization fund of $5,000 a year got created. And then when somebody else paid everybody's delinquent taxes through COVID, and the delinquent taxes got caught up, we had, I do believe the number I heard was more than $70,000 raised in delinquent taxes one year. And that was rolled into that fund. That's when they capped it at 50,000 into that fund. But we got hundreds of thousands of dollars in that fund that doesn't have any true direction on what, if we didn't have the wording on the ballot, that would automatically go back to the taxpayers in a reduction in taxes raised the following year. And that has always been a burr on my side, because we only budget for $5,000 for delinquent taxes. And one year we budgeted 15, got 32. The next year we budgeted 5 and got 34. So far this year we budgeted 5 and already collected 13 in half a year. We're under budgeting our anticipated income. We're not budgeting closer to looking at what's out there and what is anticipated to come in. But on the other side, we're worried about $10,000 for the library.
So there are reasons why things are budgeted the way they are in the tax world, and I'm not gonna get into the details and bore everybody here, but we've talked about it at length. And there's logical financial reasons to protect our town. It's not that we're just budgeting it low to budget it low. It's the
And
way the taxes come in and fall, and we need to make sure that we're covering what we need, which it's close. We don't, even with the extra delinquent taxes, they end up covering the tax shortfall of the regular taxes. So you have to look at it in more detail and understand it more, so you can't just read it face value.
Carl, I agree that there's hundreds of thousands of dollars in reserve accounts.
Yeah.
But you also have millions of dollars in expenses with a town garage and salt shed and transfer station. And all of those things that the town has been desperately needing for 30 years. And so I see anything that we can hedge against those major expenses helps the town. It's not this year, but it'll help it in 5 years, or 2 years, or was it 30?
Mhm.
Um,
So basically, you've just gotta decide to accept this wording to include in the warning with the corrections and go with it.
Yeah, any further discussion? I'll move to include a separate article. Based on the wording given to us by the public library, but including the necessary wording to make it conform with the requirements.
And you'll run that by the town clerk.
Yes.
'Cause
Oh, yeah.
she's the one who actually gave us this language, but
No, we'll work with Patty on that.
And the kicker on that is the library is part of the town that as deemed necessary and provide services to the community was the outcome of our 2 lawsuits by Mr. Pepperman that wording for service organizations.
right, but we're not a service
Right,
organization,
so-
or part of the town.
So
right?
it won't matter that the wording's in there for this because we are part of the town.
Well, only if putting that wording in confuses the voter to think that we aren't part of the town.
Right.
Because if it's if outside organizations get deemed necessary,
Right, so.
then
Terry, do you have the wording for the fire department?
Yeah, so that's just gonna look it up, actually.
but the fire.
But they're not,
part of the
they're
town.
not municipal either.
They're not heard.
It's not part of the municipality.
Right, so it would be more like the highway or the, I don't know what, putting money
Or
aside.
the reserve
to
funds, maybe,
Reserve funds would be
essentially.
more
Mhm.
accurate, and
Whatever.
I'm not a select board person, but that's how
Yeah.
I would read it.
Yeah, whatever was required for those.
But, yeah,
Yeah.
just something to consider.
Yeah, we still say, well, as we said, the fire department is not specifically a town organization. But we do have the deemed necessary language in there.
Mhm.
And rescue squad, of course, that's Bolton Rescue Squad deemed necessary.
Mhm.
How about like a reserve fund or any?
You'd have to go back, I think, a couple.
Do you know
of
when
years.
when the $20,000 building reserve fund was first put in? Like what year that
Where
was?
did we figure that out, didn't we, Kimberly?
We did 23.
2023.
22.
24, I think it rolled in. It was voted separately twice, I believe, maybe even 3 times. I feel like
It was, yeah.
For any of the reserve funds, we just asked all the voters authorize the select board to
Yeah.
fund such and such.
I think that's probably what you want.
If we could probably do something like very similar to that.
The reserve fund is different in that it's the town has reserve fund, we need to be authorized to take money out of it and spend it. Whereas this is just like another allocation that.
Right,
Right. But it wouldn't be a reserve fund, you wouldn't say reserve fund, but it follows the same idea as a reserve fund, in that it's a town entity asking for taxpayer money for whatever the purpose is. You know, instead of an outside organization, that's the piece I think is the question about the deemed necessary, there's no deemed
Mhm.
necessary because it's a town. You know, for the town, it's not external to the town, I think is the point. I don't think it would go as far as the reserve fund language would be in there, it's not a reserve fund, it's just
Right, right.
an additional allocation.
Do you have a second to your motion?
I don't have a second to the motion.
I'll second your motion, Sarah.
Okay.
Very well.
Is there further discussion? We will, oh. First, okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
So opposed because you would like. And just not why, just you're in opposition.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
separate.
Sean?
I will go with the wording, yeah,
I'm sorry, say that again?
I'm an I.
Thank you. The motion passes 4-1. And we'll have further discussion about the tweaking and run it by the town clerk.
Thank you. So Crystal, the reserve was 22-23 in that fiscal year, 23-24, and then 24-25.
Yes,
I think it was voted the first two times and the final, it was just.
was put in,
Do you,
yeah.
do you have the wording of it? Is it
I don't
changed?
have, it, yeah.
Gotcha. I'm trying to find it.
Report.
That's what I'm trying to find. It would just be in all the normal,
It's in the, in the back
yeah.
where it shows the warning,
Right.
that's probably the easiest way. Well, the back, but the last page.
So it would go back to the 21 election.
So it sounds more, well, yeah, I'm trying to find that one specifically, but okay, so shall the voters of Middletown Springs authorize the select board to establish and fund a reserve fund for the town library facilities, allocating 20,000 to said fund to be raised by tax.
Right,
So it's not deemed necessary, it's just shall we fund it?
yeah,
So, yeah. That's the same word.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate your attention.
Thank you.
You get to stay?
I'm stay for a bit, I have some time to spare for my next thing. No, I drove, no, I thought about walking, but it's very cold outside.
I made the mistake of walking.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I was like, it's pretty chill, I just take it. Thanks for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On the left there, just like a copy for something.
On the left.
Right at the intersection. And then one.
Larry and Olga.
Oh,
It's a town of the parcel for seven.
yeah,
It's
Um,
Taylor's property.
it's Negri,
The one on South Street?
no, it's on.
Taylor.
Turn around the yard.
Was that you?
And the price is under the.
Take pictures.
Uh,
Send it, please.
Might have had to talk, but- And they asked me about it today, and I looked it up, and this,
I don't, there's no sign.
no, but I see the footprints out in there
Yeah.
and, so when I was planning the crash, I thought it was all one parcel.
I did too.
But I thought the whole part of the hill, you know.
I thought so too.
So
Or Larry,
Well, there's just.
I think he's got like 300 acres or something, or 270 or something like that. Yeah.
Stuff, but.
Will
Yeah,
the hell ever be back at this point?
no, I didn't know who the people were.
Do you know the name?
Scott Negro, N-I-G-R-O.
I never heard of him.
And
Uh-uh.
the metal poster signs
Yeah,
doesn't have a name on them, and then that stops at Haley's.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, I thought that all was Al Haley's.
I see it
Interesting.
happens today. Somebody asked me about it today. I went to see where the parcel was.
Yeah. Oh, that's George, he knows that name, I bet he doesn't. We looked at those land records all, lots of times and I've never noticed that before.
So.
Well, there's the parcel property.
You said it's 10 acres?
10.
Yeah,
10.07 or something.
Interesting.
10.07.
it's this one. So this is Haley Road changes to Donahue here.
Yep.
Molodesky, it's this parcel.
Did you
It is. it's
see
like
those,
from Paris.
Yeah.
And
did you get what Patty was saying? One of my numbers was wrong?
Yeah, it was a typo, and I looked back at my notes.
Yeah.
It was a typo.
It was interesting, your
Be
note.
careful with that. You-
I know, right?
It should be,
That's
hang
rough.
on a second.
Connecticut.
They're from Connecticut.
Up at the, yeah, up at the top,
Yep.
the 350566
Yes,
should be 354566.
3-5.
And
4.
It's
So that's what we
listed for
talked
sale.
about, but.
And listed it.
Okay, thank you.
know who the one was that ran for the river.
I got a call about it. So it's yeah, it didn't oh, it's 8024U Realty. It's probably not online.
Online.
Never heard that either.
That sounds really shady.
It sounds very
Probably
suspicious.
50 of those.
But you get a Ginzu knife if you buy
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know, two.
Oh, I know, there's
Is it
another,
4 and then the letter
update.
U?
You go all the way down to row 344.
Yep.
column-
You know, two,
column
4
one.
U. They spell it out.
They did spell it
The
out.
low
She's
letter.
got
Okay.
$1,000 in there,
Yeah.
which is,
Less.
it's not a calculation, she typed it in, so, and she knows about it, but,
Yeah.
it's this year's.
I know exactly where that is, look, it's.
But it's like they have to get, you would get
It
a.
should be 1,500, so it should be 103,500 minus last year 102,000. That's the revenue for the highway.
Okay,
Okay, I got some research
It makes a
too.
difference of the calculation for how much of a difference it is.
Joe got fair
so
comment.
this is changed from previous year. You want me to put 1,500?
Yeah, so it's above it is 12445,
Yeah,
and then 1,500,
yeah.
and then it calculates to 10945, so that's the dollar amount change
Gotcha.
from this year to last year in the highway.
Okay.
So that was a little off.
So I'm thinking what we should do is run through it from the top, like sort of in blocks. Like, are there any questions about the revenue section? And hearing none.
Once again, I'd be in favor of increasing the delinquent taxes raised,
That's what I was just
You
gonna
know.
ask you.
based on its history, but
If that gets increased, then there's more pressure on the regular property tax line. So the regular property tax line every year typically is about 40,000 or so short. A lot of that at the end of the year, June 30th, 40,000 short, but then in the next year, it comes in, a lot of it, but it has to go under delinquent taxes because it's been late.
Mhm.
So if you're gonna increase the delinquent tax line item to $40,000 or whatever you think is gonna come in, you're still gonna be short with your overall taxes.
Mhm.
That's the simplest way I'm gonna put it right now. But it hurts us if we have higher budgets on those items.
Mhm.
So there are,
You
They're all-
understand, we've heard this before, don't hit it, right?
Yeah.
so there are two categories of delinquent taxes, really, those that are slightly overdue and are paid off promptly. And those that are 3 years overdue.
Exactly. And this delinquent tax line captures both of them.
Mm.
So in effect, so if we're gonna get $40,000 delinquent, let's say, look at last year, actually look at 25, yeah. So we were what, 30 something
34.
off of our regular in-season current property off.
Oh, I see.
And we collected $34,000 in delinquent taxes. But the majority of that was probably that little bit
Right,
of the current year that didn't make it in on time.
right.
I see.
So.
Yeah.
So it sounds like those two are just,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not changing that to more,
Mhm.
doesn't do anything for our bottom line. Yeah,
exactly.
okay,
And actually, when we had the last audit, they recommended that we combine both of those tax numbers together.
Mhm.
So,
Hmm. And not
Actual-
not have a delinquent tax number, just say.
Just have the total
Tax
tax number,
line.
yeah.
Property.
And I think it was discussed. I could go either way, I see both sides of it, but I think the majority felt like, let's leave it separate for now. But that just means explaining every time we're looking at the delinquent taxes, why is it so low?
Mhm.
It's because of what I just said.
Right.
So, increasing it unless we know that our delinquent tax collector is gonna bring in a ton of money. There's not a lot of money left to bring in.
It's part of my thinking going
So,
back to
Yeah,
2023.
Deb got a lot. She got a lot.
So I'm just curious, I don't understand it all, but like, so does that zero, are you saying that that zeroes out every time? There's no money lingering from previous,
From the current year, yeah.
or
So
like from previous year, like it was delinquent taxes were collected by, whoever from like 10 years ago, and where does all that money, is it still it lives somewhere? Because it wasn't paid for, you didn't apply it to 10 years ago tax year. So where does it go if you take it in during one?
Well, if we take it in, we know which year it gets applied to.
Oh, okay.
Because people tell us what to apply it to.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, we know what it gets applied to. So then I book it towards those years.
Right. Yeah, okay. I mean,
But it's only
So I-
income in the current year.
oh, right. I see what you're
We
saying.
don't carry a
Yeah.
delinquency on our revenue side
Right. Gotcha.
to go back.
Gotcha.
Our revenue comes every year as a 12-month
As like
period.
yeah.
It closes the 30th of June
Mhm.
and then it starts anew.
Gotcha.
So we could easily raise that to 10 and not have a problem. And that is a half a cent on the tax rate, basically.
You see 25 and 24, the actual compared to budget. 2025, we were only $5,000 over.
Mhm.
2024, we were under.
Mhm.
So I strongly think it's not prudent to change those numbers.
Yeah, it's kind of gambling on if people are gonna pay their taxes late or not. That's what it sounds like.
Well, the delinquent numbers,
Yeah.
it's not gambling, it's, having it low is a cushion against those that aren't paying their current year property taxes.
Right. So it only really matters when it's at least 1 year out of
Mhm.
sync. Gotcha.
And like I said, like the only way it would really matter is if we know or have a good feeling that we're gonna have a tax sale, or that our delinquent tax collector is actively bringing in money. But you can look at the delinquent tax report, how much really is there, and is that really gonna come in?
Mhm.
So, let me see if I have. So Carl, why do you think it should be raised? After having explained all that?
Yeah, we've had that discussion a couple times.
Many-
To make it more realistic of what we're going to collect.
But then if you look at the overall number, that's the realistic,
Mhm.
if you add them together.
A board a couple of years ago, our current delinquent tax collector, she was a select board member at the time, but she felt very strongly we should budget 0 in that column.
Mhm.
And we've still, I think, pretty much overridden and put a small amount in there, 5,000, but she really advocated for nothing in there.
I have a question. How much did you get for 20? Actual. 20?
For delinquents,
No, for property taxes.
total, we got 903,000 and change. The budget was 890,000.
898,000.
And does that include the delinquent taxes?
Yeah, so if you look at the charts that get put into the town report, every year, that shows delinquent taxes, you can see.
If one comes to
How
look,
that
I've got
works.
it up on my computer. Come on, the video.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. No,
So this would be year 2025. Budgeted that, received that.
Which page is it, Isaac?
Oh, I'm just looking at my spreadsheet,
Oh, okay.
which I guess is not the final full.
Yeah, so I'm talking
Right,
about
it is
the,
different.
in the town report, look at page 26, Chris. I'm sorry, not 26.
because I'm not front of mind with the last year's town.
Look at. You see, it came out,
Restricted.
got printed really crazy, so I don't know.
It's very small. It's like,
Page 15,
These rows, yeah. 25.
page 15, if you look,
15, 32.
so
But that number is just the difference between these two numbers, though. Is all that is.
So you. These.
let me get my printouts.
Total revenue from income, the taxes. And total revenue there, yeah. But this one here is your actual, that
Exactly.
came in, so you're 30,000.
Under, and that,
Yeah.
when, it seems like it should just be one line. We don't need.
I know, I have
a delinquent and.
Yeah, so, you know,
Because it
we'll see
is,
what the
I
auditors
think we
say
probably
this
are
time
updated.
too.
Oh, this is older.
Page 15.
Yeah, it's a little confusing to have it as 2 months, because,
yeah,
on the
Because of this
surface.
reason, yeah.
I think Carl's reading of it makes perfect sense,
Right.
but if you do the, well.
Every year what we bring in,
Yeah.
for
Delinquent
this
to
particular
collect
year,
taxes and then.
My
Every
whole
year.
point is
Okay.
either.
so
Budget.
if we look at,
Or the line item on the extra
That's
money.
from this
So,
past current
50,000.
year, that year that ended, we had $40,000 that was delinquent.
And they've got a lower.
But some of
number, so
that, I mean, that, yeah,
revenue.
will come into the, yeah, this year.
Next year, so.
And like, so you see, there's only a little bit
Right,
left
The
to
hundreds of
collect.
thousands of dollars that we've accumulated.
yeah. It's just-
Mhm.
You can focus on this on your own, but this is total, $69,000 not to collect. But if you look where it is,
but so
this
is
is
that-
already much.
so of the
So it's probably part of that.
851 that we received,
We don't
that
have-
had to cover our expenses, did that 34 go into a reserve fund? Because it was delinquent, or did it just go to general expenses as well?
At the end of the year, your extra revenue and extra underspending
Mhm.
goes into that sinking fund.
Right,
And
but then the year before, we were under, so we had to pull from the fund to
No.
cover.
You can stay here.
no, because
Yeah.
they didn't spend all the
We're gonna
budget.
get you back in the long.
So-
Yeah,
That was just
depends
one
on
section, that
different
fund is
things.
paid,
Yeah.
like if the total budget
Mhm.
is over or under, it's like after all that, but building it in here. Gives you more of a cushion, so there's more likely, when you finish the budget, there's more likely gonna be some left, because it's sort of built in here. And then all that money just keeps getting put to this reserve fund or whatever.
In 24, 25. And I don't know about 26 yet, but in 24 and 25, we. Between property taxes and delinquent property taxes, we collected less than anticipated for property taxes.
Right.
So it's not extra money, it's trying to make up the shortfall.
Oh, yeah, within that section, but I think what I'm hearing Carl say is that in the larger picture, if you build it in here, it becomes. If it works out that people pay their delinquent taxes, then it becomes an extra that gets then. At the bottom line, you didn't spend the whole budget, so 50,000 of that, or up to 50,000 of that is then transferred into that reserve fund.
Right. That
And
seems
so if that
different.
keeps happening over and over and over, at what point do you
Right.
decide to maybe make a change so that taxpayers get a benefit instead of continuing to transfer those extras at the same rate into that, and that just keeps building? Is there an argument to me that at some point you do less, or you skip a year, or I don't know what the.
I think
you know,
that
that idea.
the thinking was just to keep the taxes stable year to
Yeah.
year, not these big up and downs.
Right.
because There have been years when we have applied a lot of surplus
Right,
and people were like, even though we told them it's not gonna happen every year.
Yeah.
The next year, they're like, why did our
Right.
taxes go up so much?
Yeah.
So the idea is to keep it stable,
Yeah.
so maybe the work needs to be done of where that excess does go, maybe it doesn't go into that town reserve, maybe you guys make up a different place for it to go.
Yeah, like what is that?
Yeah,
Look like?
yeah, I always thought that was kind of vague myself
Mhm.
too.
Especially if you have a number of years where that just keeps growing,
Yeah,
growing,
yeah.
and growing, like.
Cause we had talked about, you know, maybe the library could do some of that too, right? But there's nothing specific about
Right,
what
it's, right, what's the
for.
conversation about that, but,
So that needs to be,
Yeah.
yeah,
we
at some
probably
point
should
discussed.
evaluate that again, but when we established that, we had so many different building projects all.
Right,
Right.
exactly, yeah, and you still might, yeah.
Yeah.
We currently just have a couple of those.
And yeah, and then, you know, yeah, exactly, that's a good point, Terry, yeah, so.
So
Like, do you want to keep building that, or do you want to put it somewhere else?
in the
If you-
interests of getting.
right, not here nor there.
Right.
Moving forward.
Can we agree to keep the 5,000 and say that what we're actually talking about is the article about how much money's set aside for tax stabilization or other revenues? So can we
Leaving it out of the budget, meaning talking about it later during the year, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Revising the
Yeah.
allocation ratio.
But depends, you know, run and be part of that.
Yes.
He's like, I'm gonna kick it to the next time, see what happens.
But I think maybe, yeah, let's take advantage of the auditors being here in a couple months before the next budget, and they can explain to us why they think that's a good thing. Putting together.
Good point.
And there was some in the highway revenue, there was also, there's a division of delinquent taxes, right? Some goes,
Yeah, it's based on the percentage of how much, yeah, I do it, that's not yeah, regular property taxes, right?
right,
What we ask the town to pay for, that's another good reason to keep it separate. Because the current property taxes are the budget ask.
Yeah.
Plus whatever gets voted on top of it. So, we look at it by percentage, like how much, so the town has, say, $500,000, the highway has $400,000 in the ask.
mhm,
But on top of the ask are the extra questions, that could be another 100,000, so that's 600,000 for the town, that the town it needs. And the highway still is at 400,000, so you do a percentage. Of who gets what out of those taxes
mhm.
when we do the final numbers. So, yeah, and that does not, delinquent is actually 50/50, but maybe not, maybe it doesn't, yeah. You gotta
So-
revisit that, there's. Yeah, I'm
So
thinking
delinquent
through it.
taxes doesn't go to town government, it's prorated between town and highway.
Delinquent tax, interest and penalties is 50/50.
Okay. But
It's the
property
regular
tax-
property taxes that are
Okay,
prorated.
yeah.
That's not the word.
Okay,
Ratio.
continuing through, is there anything else in the revenue? Including down through the Cramson Fund and Copeland Milk Fund. If not, we move on to the government, general government. Starting with the salaries. And then other expenses. And I'm just counting on people to shout out if there's something they want to
Got a lot of
flag.
it last week.
Solid waste. Insurance, Jenny's given us updated numbers on workers' comp and childcare and all of those
Mhm.
expenses.
And taxes,
Yeah.
What is I'm sure I asked this before, what is our firehouse facilities reserve? Fund for?
That's that's
Fire department.
Fire department.
New firehouse.
Building.
On top of their other end of that, so they can build one.
Yeah. that appropriations included in general government. We still have 4 that we haven't heard from.
And those at this point, yeah,
Oh, they're out. Okay.
they won't make it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Um,
3 of them didn't even come in at all, right? One was later.
Yeah.
okay, so on general
That's
government,
interesting.
we are good to that point. Brings us to highway. And of course, Earl, you weren't here last week, so we went ahead and slashed and burned in your absence.
Oh, I see some.
Uh, didn't slash and burn, we moved figures around. Let's-
I would just, can we just go back for just one quick second to the
Yeah.
insurance, the property and liability insurance?
Mhm.
I just wanna be sure that number reflects the church, like the new building,
Oh, that's what we were supposed to ask Patty, right? Shannon.
or was it just, cause last year, I just see it's the same as last year, and I just wanna make sure we just didn't copy and paste a number. And that, because there's an additional property,
Actually, I figured it,
and I don't know how this,
based on what we, are, I wonder if that one was here.
There is a town inventory. that
Okay.
was
alright, I
supposed
just
to
didn't know,
complete.
and then I don't know if. Again, I don't know if they charge differently for like an occupied building versus a
Right.
not occupied, but I don't,
Yeah,
I just,
it wasn't cut and paste. It was
okay,
figured
so it
out,
was figured
yeah,
out, alright,
yeah.
it just happened to be the
Yeah.
same, so I just wanna make sure.
But I'm wondering though, once the, building is done, if it will go up a
Right,
bigger percentage then.
and I don't know.
Yeah, so that, I don't.
It's
know the
unknown
answer to that, yeah.
So it's not like there's
Yeah,
another,
yeah.
I have an idea of what other number it might be,
Yeah.
but I just,
2 payments here, 1 payment half the year is less than 20. And the budget 23, so
Okay.
that may have already been taken into consideration for the
alright.
2 properties.
okay, perfect. And in theory, we'll be able to offload one of the properties and they'll be less, so that would be less.
That's one thing.
Right.
Or offset the
Yeah.
cost if it's more on the
Or
other
we'll
side.
have all that extra surplus. we can
Yeah,
do
who
that.
knows?
I guess,
It was figured out just to.
I guess the whole question is. Your labor expenses. Are pretty much cut and dried. 2 full-time people, the 10% overtime that was figured onto that, and a part-time employee. Comes out to be $140,400. Is that money still in the budget?
Yeah, if you look at, let me just get down to highway here.
Oh, highway's different, I
Yeah.
see.
If you
That's
include,
budgeted for
include
this
admin, you
year.
include,
Right.
building and
No.
grounds, it adds up to like 137.
Oh, I see.
So I looked at that and it's all covered. So it's not just, it's through every category that we get charged for, employee payroll.
Mhm.
And actually, let's see, it might, actually, it's in, Carl, if you look at, there's a tab, 2627 wage highway, oh, you don't have it on your computer,
Right.
where I did all the math on that,
26, 27?
yeah. So,
This is called.
if everybody just,
technology.
if everybody
Right,
just
that's-
worked their,
There's red here.
their regular hours at the regular pay, they, so that would be two full-time and a part-time, that'd be $111,000. But if you add projected overtime on top of that, which I looked at a couple of past years and
This might be slightly different.
estimated,
She's talking.
the extra salary projection for that would be about $26,000, so you're about at $137,000. So it includes payroll class 2, class 3, maintenance, winter 1, 2, winter maintenance, admin, building and grounds, and special projects.
Mhm.
What about vacation and holidays?
That's all,
Separate.
separate,
So-
but we did, yeah, that's in my spreadsheet also.
Mm.
So I spent a lot of time looking at the years and just checking what was going on back and forth, up and down, so. I feel comfortable with it,
Mhm.
but
Okay, so the the total amount allocated to payroll in highway does cover 2 full-time, 1 part-time employees. And then
Overtime.
and overtime, and then the payroll taxes and all are calculated to
reflective of all
reflect that.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
Garage, the rent will continue through
half the year,
half a year.
So,
as known.
Yeah,
right,
right.
but we haven't budgeted for the full year, though. That was, someone said, be ready to defend that. I forgot. who.
I have to run out for my next pickup. All right, so I don't think I'll be back on time. It'll probably be an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right.
So
We hope you're
Thank you,
not,
Sean.
we hope.
I hope we're not still here.
Yeah.
yes, I'm guessing.
9, no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing
All right.
closes at 9.
Yeah.
So hopefully, good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Good night, Sean.
Okay, good night,
Thanks,
Sean.
Drive slow.
Um,
Yeah, the rate's an unknown, who knows?
Mhm.
And I think we ended up leaving the paving in there, Carl. We left that at.
So we did leave that at 40 currently. The only other thing I think that we changed was that we added to this new line item, the highway reserve for special projects, we added the cost of labor, projected labor to it. I think about 12,000 or no, 6,000.
It could have been,
I think it
I
was
think it was 6, wait,
per project.
48.5 plus minus 54.5 is 6. Yeah, we
Yeah.
projected it would take a week. Does that sound right, Carl? Maybe each project would take a week with the 2 guys,
That was in 2 weeks, but
but
yeah.
a week for
Got it,
each
got it,
project,
got it.
yeah, so.
So that was the only other major change, was trying to add in a little bit more. So while not adding that to the numbers of the cost of the special project, the 2 highlighted lines, that cost only reflects material and hauling expenses. But then the offset includes the labor and
Yeah.
I guess just
the time.
that and the labor, basically. So we don't have to go in and change any of the numbers in the highway payroll.
because the salaries are included in
Yeah.
the payroll section.
Whether they're doing that project or not, they're getting paid.
Right,
That's
and so this is materials and hauling for those 2 projects.
Yeah.
And what is that, 48,000? And that, a portion of that came from that increase, proposed
Mhm.
increase in gravel and,
Mhm.
just move
I see,
down to
right.
special line.
Brought them numbers back down.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm. Do you like using 54 of the surplus, of the highway surplus on these special projects? Do you think that's the correct number?
That amount would probably be used, but I don't like the way it's laid out, but I would have preferred the numbers were in the line items
Mhm.
and the revenue was on the revenue side coming out of the reserve fund.
Mhm.
But the way you're doing this here, you're just looking at the bottom line.
Mhm.
So in my thinking, that you're not asking to expend that money on the expenditure side, because it's not gonna be in there the amount to be spent on your bottom line.
We can move that negative 54.5 from expenses to revenue, we call it special projects,
And then,
revenue like we do with grants.
and then it's gonna show that we're spending our money on the highway,
Mhm.
but we're not taxing the people for the money for it.
Okay, so move, literally just moving that line item
Yeah,
up to
It
revenue.
shows the expenditure, because the way I read this, looking at this today after Patty printed it for me, it shows me that we're not spending more money in the highway budget.
Up in revenue,
Well, all the way through, you look at the bottom line on
right?
what's gonna
right.
be spent and the warning, you know, on how it's worded, X numbers to be spent and X number to be raised by taxes.
Hmm.
Wouldn't reflect them numbers.
Sure.
You know,
I get
and
that.
if the big thing is to be transparent on it, the numbers should be shown that we're
So,
anticipating spending all this money, but we're not anticipating taxing you for all that money.
right, sure. So, and then in that case, the
54.5 would be
up
an
in
article,
revenue,
article on the first portion as income. A line item here is highway,
Mhm.
like it's a grant revenue that we budgeted 12 and expending 15. In this case, we're budgeting 48.5 and allowing for 54.5 to be used out of that line item.
the percentage increase then was that moving that to revenue doesn't change the fact that the highway is still only in the 2 point something% increase. So-
Well, it shows that you're a higher increase, but the amount to be raised by taxes stays the same. As what you would.
Yeah, so it's
Pointed
a
out.
wash thing,
Yeah.
Right,
so we'll
Yeah,
put in
yeah.
another line.
or can I move that line? No, I guess the number would be wrong, right? The code work number.
It doesn't matter what the code number is for you guys.
Okay.
I'll take care of the code number when the time comes and the public doesn't need the code number. It's just for your reference.
Right. Okay.
So, where are you gonna move it? Cause,
So right underneath grant revenue highway,
yeah.
120207,
Mhm.
I would say we'd move the highway surplus special or
And we want another row that says special project
yeah,
income.
Yeah.
Or special project, whatever we called it,
we
because it's not a grant.
Yep.
And those rows are already used.
highway
anyway.
reserve for special.
Reserve fund expenditure.
Mhm.
Yes, highway reserve fund expenditure, You want me to do that?
Sure.
Highway reserve for special projects, that's what we hold it down, and we just move it up
Okay.
in a row.
Yeah.
Let's just get through this and.
Yeah.
everything else.
I like that though.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like that. Repairs and parts. And highway. This is a throw darts at it.
Yeah,
Something.
I mean,
Yeah.
we thought the new backhoe would take care of all our headaches and all we have is more headaches.
Yep.
They did not find anything wrong with the transmission when they tore it apart, and the rear end when they tore it apart. They put it back together, drove it, still the vibration. They took new tires off a new machine, put it on our machine, drove it, no vibration.
It's tired.
But it doesn't answer the question how they had metal parts in the oil when they sampled it.
Right.
So that oil reserve may be part of the transmission too, and one reserve their transmission rear end, and they were only looking at the rear end. So John Deere and United having a discussion on whether they're going to give us new tires or not to eliminate the vibration because of the hours on. So and that's what I heard today.
The only other thing we did last meeting without you, Carl, was level fund gas, diesel and fluids. I'm pretty sure that was left like last time we were talking.
Yeah, we're at 32, I don't, right now, and we. Get rid of the 24-cent fuel tax and 10 cents a gallon less, it will add up in the summer work.
Yeah.
Gas is still dropping, fuel went the other way, 20 cents, so it made no sense.
Yeah.
Make it
It's the same product.
No, it's a cheaper product than gas, that's the thing,
Yeah.
and gas has all the tax on it. So,
Expensive product it costs.
Well, because companies have to make a profit, Terry, obviously.
BTUs and diesel oil, yeah, that's why it's higher.
Mm.
Um, okay, contract labor.
Mhm.
And
so the extra and then 2 line items got rolled into the.
Yeah.
Basically rolled into the projects.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then offset by the reserve fund expenditure.
Yeah.
The new appropriation to be voted. To add there.
It's the. No,
We'll add the library.
but it's not an appropriation, correct? It's a,
No, we're putting the wording on the ballot, so it doesn't go in the budget,
right,
so it goes directly to the ballot.
And that brings us all the way through it.
Send that to me,
I don't think it changed anything.
No, I was gonna add the road.
Oh, sure,
For revenue and take it out of expenses so that you guys can.
Do you have this most current one? Is it,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
so
can
I'll
just send it to me,
take
'cause I didn't make any changes to it. I
Okay.
tell you, I
Yeah,
swear.
just change the names.
Okay, right, I added the 4. to the-
Yeah, I can do that. And then, and the 1.5 also.
True. Right, there are a couple of changes.
Is there any further discussion?
Did we get anything from Vermont adult learning?
I don't believe we did from adult. Terry.
Vermont adult learning, yes, came in late and came in after the first of the year, so it missed the deadline, or. No, that might not have come in late. Anyway, when it came in, Patty said that was a new, she sent them the information, that's a new request. Needed to be petitioned to put on the ballot.
And then she hasn't heard anything from them
Well,
since.
We haven't got anything back, so. Unless somebody who has a strong opinion that wanna override our policy and put it on the ballot, it will not be on the ballot.
So
That can be struck from this, then.
yeah,
yes. Yes.
56.
So with those changes, the only change in figures is the additional 10,000 for library. Voted to be voted separately. So I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, so what we need, I sent around a. Sample or whatever preliminary warning a few days ago or last week or whenever it was. We're just putting lines in all the numbers. So what we need is the actual numbers. For the general operation of the town, what's to be raised by taxes. Same for the care and maintenance of highways and what's to be raised by taxes. The only other change would be the library. In one of the appropriation columns down the bottom, not column, but quest. And I believe that's the only change unless anybody spotted any
I think that's
problems
correct.
with that. So if and when we have those numbers.
If they haven't changed at all, I can give you the to be raised. If you want those ones.
They're to be raised, let me just make sure they're
Yeah,
correct,
okay,
after
yeah.
I just did this change, and I think so, yeah, go ahead, so, I
Okay.
think they are the
Yeah,
same.
double check me, but to be raised for the general maintenance of the town, 354,566.
354.
354,566.
3, 5, 4.
This says 50.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
Okay.
I missed a 4.
It's the general operation of the town,
General operation of town.
3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 6.
And
Okay.
where would I see the total? Because that's to be raised by taxes.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, and can you just remind me what that special project number was it, I think I did a typo here, The negative number.
5, so 54,
54.
500.
Okay. Okay, I can send this back to you.
Thank you.
And what this says is 436,800 to be raised by taxes for highway.
For, what did you say, Carl?
436,800.
So I have 434,800.
Did you get that right? The
So,
50,
so for revenue, oh, I know what I did, hang on a second. 5. It still should be the same. 54, 5.
54, 5, yeah.
And, so why?
You don't have 436?
Oh, that's, I got it.
Okay,
Yeah,
800.
Yeah, good. Mhm. So I'm gonna
Um,
save this and I'll send it to you.
So that's, what did you say?
$436,800 to be raised by taxes for them.
436, 800. That's what you raised by tax.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
436,800.
Yeah, okay.
How many people? Gotta make sure it's the right number.
So what was their general operation total
For,
for the town, general operation?
Is that what this
354,566.
No,
that's
total?
Oh, that's
the
to be
top
raised.
is 434 and 66. Right,
That's the number he's looking for. The bottom of the-
the bigger number. Give them the
Right,
bigger
the
number.
big, the big.
Give them the bigger.
Yes.
594,800.
That one.
That changed?
That,
The flip
that
flop.
one, yeah.
594,800.
Yeah, that's total budget.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Here, much, Isaac, sorry.
what I'm looking for, is the total.
Things at once.
And the total for the town,
That was for the town, was 434,066.
43466.
066.
Yeah. 566. So we're saying appropriate 436,066. General operation of the town with 354,566 to be raised in taxes. And for care and maintenance of highways, we're saying total 594,800. The amount to be raised by taxes, 436,800.
We're gonna wanna give,
Yeah, so I don't have that
I'm
number.
just robbing you of a computer too, so I'll send it back. For some reason it didn't see.
Wait,
So because we moved revenue surplus, surplus up to revenue, it bumped up the highway total.
84888.
But
Correct.
yeah, it even
Yeah,
was
but
at
I've got
5.9,
5.92.
it should be like 5.98 or something,
Just had to rename
right?
it.
You need 5,400.
Okay, 599.
And I'll CC the rest of you on it, anyway, but.
You got the highway number you needed though?
Yeah, but I just want you guys to look at it to make sure I read it off. Mm.
See you later, have fun, don't stay too late now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So. Are we good with that verbiage with,
Then yeah,
I guess if Patty developed it, that's probably.
Are we at 489, 500
for what?
total highway?
Total highway,
there you go, just think.
okay, hold on, let me give it, cause yeah, it's gonna be different now, the thingy thing is in a different thingy spot. So total highway. Is 594,800.
Just make sure that she's mentioned. Yeah. So Coral, where it changed, it. The subcategory that it changed under road maintenance, total road maintenance is now 273,000. And that changes the total highway 5,800, like Isaac said.
Highway to, what's the road, 273
273.
even?
Yep,
Where is that?
273 is line 249 or row 249.
Total road maintenance. Bottom of that category.
Total maintenance. Weird, yeah, I have 72,000. That's weird.
So the. This number,
That's on page 6. That total,
Gotcha, okay, oh, yeah.
See it, yeah.
I'm
that sheet.
And then,
been a couple long.
Yeah, and then
Long
just-
nights of no
yeah.
sleep, okay. I
so the
see.
total is showing 594,800 and
$273,000
Right,
in
mhm.
road maintenance. Yeah, okay. Whew.
line those look great.
and we have the numbers to be raised by, the amounts to be raised by taxes.
Then we can double check, so numbers on that, all right.
Are you doing percentages, is that what? Everyone reasonably unhappy? Are you supposed to be at the end of these?
Looks like all the revenues are correct, the budgets are correct. 354, 569. 436,800. So, yeah, so it's the same numbers that we had last week, we just shifted revenue and expenses.
Yep.
For highway.
So just for the fourth time, the amounts to be raised by taxes, 354,566. And 436,800,
Mhm.
okay?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll move that we adopt this proposed budget and include it in our warning.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 And
Yeah, Sean left.
John, wish we could hold it open for him for, but I'm not staying here for 2 hours. So, approved 401. And, the budget section of the meeting is closed. We had a request for a little bit of solid waste and then an executive session.
And just one thing, I don't know if we want to do anything or not, but we were talking about the tax stabilization reserve funds and so on. Right now, the tax stabilization fund is first, and that's up to $5,000, which is, not really a very great amount. And then the next item is a reserve fund for town municipal facilities, which is 50,000. If you want to adjust any of that. This would be the time, I'm just saying, I'm not advocating, I'm just saying. $5,000 is a pretty small amount, we didn't spend it last year, I don't think we did, because it was a pretty small amount. If we're up to 15,000, I would say we'd probably advocate to spend it this year. But that's pretty much
I would be in favor of raising that too.
I would think that would not
I'm sorry.
be a bad idea.
And
Raise
the
that,
tax stabilization fund.
Yeah,
because $10,000 amounts to, it may be less than that now, it used to amount to about a penny on the grand list, so. Reducing the taxes from $1.99 to $1.98.
And
Or whatever, but every little bit helps, but.
right.
but if we raised it to 25. And then I mean, that seems like a healthy. But or a move that would have impact. $5,000 doesn't have impact.
It really doesn't, right, and that was Patty was the architect, he was an architect of that a number of years ago, and it's a great concept, because. It is, Jenny, and we explained, we used to have some of these huge swings, we had one year where the. Tax rate went down, I don't know, 25 cents or something, 24 cents, and at town meeting, we warned folks, this was a one-time deal, and then of course, next year it goes back up. Whatever, and everybody's screaming, so. These stabilization funds or these different reserve funds were to try to. Taxes still go up generally, but we try to levelize it as much as we can.
So we have 15,349 in that account now, plus we'll have
So we'll have.
the 5 from this year, so there'll be 20. Little over 20 in that account.
So like that can be used to offset the 10,000. Extra for the library.
Yeah, we can use the whole thing to reduce the tax rate when we set the tax rate.
Right.
The municipal facilities town surplus account. Has 270,000 in it. You know, that has grown drastically in the last few years. So, yes, it's ideal for building a project, whatever. But if we're gonna look to keep the tax rate down, do we want to look to put another 50 in here? Up to another 50 before the taxpayers feel relief, you know? My feeling would be to change that wording to 20,000.
So it's currently at 50? Is that right?
The second thing,
The
article
reserve
is
fund for municipal facilities, which is any facility, the garage or the transfer station or. Whatever, or the office or.
and the highway highway surplus is just about 124,000 now. Bridge reserves 25,000. The municipal highway facilities is 170,000. This town building reserve fund still's got 44 in it. Then the interest. The highway surplus, the town surplus. Records preservation, conservation. Cemetery. Or audit. And the fire department reserve fund's 143,000 already. Plus another 25, so there'd be close to 170,000. Transfer station is just shy of 60,000 in reserve funds. Plus funding these projects this year, so. And someplace. Recycling reserve 7,500. Our equipment reserves 111,000. Our paving reserve is 173,000 plus 40.
Another 40.
So it makes it 213,000, and you're continuing to fund it for another 40,000. So it would be $250,000 in that fund. After this budget. And
So
plus the
rude, 'cause
reappraisal.
things cost so much.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, like that building
Buildings that-
fund for 250,000 is like,
Yeah, thank
that's the
God.
foundation. It's not even the building.
It sounds like a lot, but. the
Yeah, it's not
possibility
really,
is
that's-
not good.
But we're still funding those building projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The excess highway and the excess town is extra slush funds, I understand in the good, but if we're looking to minimize the tax burden, we need to look at some way to benefit the taxes.
Yeah, I think those funds, the reserve funds are built up to a pretty good point, so I think we could increase the tax stabilization by, as you said,
Yeah.
I think 25 is a good number.
I think the tax stabilization thing too is. I get nervous every year that we're gonna make our tax budget, I really
Right.
do,
Oh, yeah.
and if things. Deteriorate, like we talked about, Robin, at another meeting, with the whole state of affairs, and people can't pay their taxes. We're gonna need that extra money to help out,
Yeah. Yeah.
or, yeah, cause we're gonna be at a deficit, so
Mhm.
that makes sense, Terry. Increase that,
So,
in my opinion.
so would that be 25 for tax stabilization and up to an additional 25 for reserve funds? Is that?
Up to an additional 25 for any, the way it's phrased is non-allocated general fund surplus, is that what we wanna stick with? I think that's not a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
So-
That's.
Yeah, so.
Well,
So the first 25, is
So the first 5 now is what we're talking about raising
But
to
it
25.
goes for the town.
that way it
municipal
will-
that
facilities.
will directly offset that.
We would have the
Oh,
ability
but
to
within that,
reduce
for
the
whatever.
tax rate.
Yeah, but, okay, that's what I was.
1 cent raises about $10,000.
Yeah.
On on our tax rate. It's right in that area.
Yeah.
So $25,000 would only reduce your tax rate by roughly 2.5 cents.
Right.
But
But we're trying.
But it's something.
It's something.
but 2.5 cents doesn't you can't say that computes to your 2.7% increase, but it's part of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
And it would be a way to help reduce the burden.
Right.
In addition to the 20,000 we have here, if we needed to. But we could use the 20,000 that we have and fund another 25 back into it too, if we wanted to.
Good.
So.
By the way, the increase is 2.5%, every little bit helps. You said 2.7.
So this,
For the last
this,
year, they asked.
if we have a surplus,
Yeah, it's not a
From-
guarantee.
yeah. so it's, yeah,
The first
Not a
25.
goes right back in,
stabilization.
then the rest goes in to the slush, okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I think technically the tax stabilization fund, it doesn't automatically offset taxes, but it's there for the board.
Right.
If we need it.
Right,
Up in the governor is now proposing up to $105 million one-time payment to reduce property taxes,
Oh, I heard that today.
which is, it sounds great,
Yeah.
that reducing property taxes, but next year
Hmm.
it means you're starting 105 million behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, it's not.
So to get to zero,
Yeah.
you've got to come up with another 105
Yeah,
million.
yeah, I was thinking of that when I was listening to it, yeah, cause we saw that happen here when we reduced our taxes.
Yeah,
And then you had to, yeah, have
It's
a big
just
jump the next year.
multiplied up there.
right.
I'll put that in, I guess I'll put that into a motion that we change our allocations, we authorize up to up to $25,000 for the municipal tax stabilization reserve fund. And then we also, which is a change from the current $5,000. And then we also up to $25,000 for the reserve fund for municipal facilities. Which is 50, right?
Of excess.
Of excess.
Of
Yeah,
So-
it's in here, that's
the wordage. Yeah.
if there is a surplus, that's not a
the first 25 would go to tax stabilization and then.
Right. And furthermore.
I
The,
thought that remainder went to tax stabilization as well.
the way it's worded, if it's over that and further allocate any surplus still remaining to be used to reduce taxes.
Okay.
So if it's more than
So-
50,
So,
right, still, net right now, if it's more than 55, then it goes back to the taxpayers. But I think the number was 32. Was the excess on the town side. I think I just
Yeah.
see it
um,
in the last couple of years.
so, I'll second Terry's motion and continue discussion.
Thank you, Robin.
But so I guess then we're talking about the first 25 goes, has to be, and then the next 25
Goes.
also goes to it.
No, it goes into the,
No,
The reserve fund.
the equipment or the property.
buildings, yes, properties.
Municipal facilities.
And if there's more than 50,
Gotcha, gotcha, so there's
Right.
3 different thresholds
right,
to meet.
so if there's
Before.
additional, say
Okay.
there's 60,000, that other 10,000 will go back to
Gotcha.
tax stabilization.
Gotcha.
We'll go
It
back.
actually goes right to reduce taxes, it doesn't.
Yeah,
go-
reduce the taxes to be raised.
Alright.
So. 1 year it was 30 town excess was 32,692. And the previous year was 25,107. The two listed.
Before that was 69,000.
And that's where that 50
Crazy.
50 got capped.
Yeah.
Through that COVID money is what I was told.
Mhm.
It's growing on trees.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Aye. Hmm. None opposed, motion carries 401.
Thank you.
I like that change.
I've thought about that for a couple of years.
Me too.
Yeah. Maybe we should have done it sooner,
Yeah.
well, no, it's good to have
There's
it.
different opinions.
It's good to have that.
Yeah.
Those funds out of it.
When you go into a building, you wish you hadn't.
We wish we had.
That's true. I remember when Timoth built their new town garage. I mean, you know, they were thinking, okay, we're gonna pour the slab ourselves. It's just a Morton building, you know, and it was $890,000 or something for it.
After they went for the first $500,000, they were going, geez, we haven't got a building yet.
Yeah.
I just have a. Before personnel, Amanda sent me an email wondering about Saturday. It's supposed to be really cold. The high is gonna be. It's like, I don't know, I think it's like 5, 8, 10 below it. And in the morning, and the high is only gonna be maybe zero, maybe single numbers, but the wind chill is 35 to 40. She wonders about running the transfer station hydraulics and all that. It's a valid concern. But we really don't have any good options. Those Sundays, bitter cold, Mondays, bitter cold, and generally speaking, Tuesday, they come and pull the. Come and pull the containers again, and anytime we close over there, you know, unless there's an equipment failure, the word doesn't get to everybody, and.
Right.
And it can't get to everybody, and there's always somebody that, what the hell, I'm just going, you know. So I don't know if anybody feels differently. I'd say we go with it and see what happens. I'm not trying to put a man to the work out in the cold. That's not my rationale, but I think you could take away somebody's firstborn and they wouldn't notice, but they'll notice that it took, it's abundant flows.
Maybe he's not talking to you, Isaac. He's not talking to you, Isaac.
That's close.
No, I didn't read that. They're pretty,
I would say no, not many people are gonna show up anyway if it's that cold, so.
well, probably not.
As long as
first
she's got a
tomorrow,
hot
but
little hut there to
She's
stand
got a
in.
little hot, yeah.
I wonder if you can change the hours, or is it too late to do that even?
It's not gonna warm up.
So, yeah.
It's not even gonna warm up anyway, high zero, maybe even below zero.
The other thing would be just to get a roll off from Hubbard's and put everything in it for this week. And not try to run either of the compactors.
Cause it could do real damage, right, trying to. use
That
them.
it'll never get started.
They're running grown. I was gonna go over, Thursday and Friday and just run them, but it's not bad Thursday and Friday. It's Friday night and Saturday where it gets cold. And once they're running, it's,
Is the,
they're all right, but
is the tank inside the building?
the tank for the trash is inside the building now.
The recycling's still out,
The recycle's still exposed.
and there's no heater on that one either.
No, I mean, we do have the salamander heater and you have to take the cover off.
Yeah.
And maybe we should just do that anyway. That might be I think probably the one that's inside is more or less all right.
Is that building heated? Might wanna kick the
Well,
heat on
We might wanna turn the heat on
the
maybe
night before.
the night before, and hopefully it don't burn down.
Be a good fire, once that, you.
At least the fire department's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything be froze up by the time you get there.
Mhm.
Yeah, so anyway, we could theoretically get a container, I suppose, and just toss everything in it. I don't know, I just wanted.
I would think that may be the. Just the recyclables and everything, just throw it in the trash for this week and not try to.
Recycling's more expensive to get rid of than the other.
It is now, but.
So it don't matter.
But we technically can't. They can take it to a landfill once it goes to Rutland, but we can't do it from here.
Right.
Mhm.
It's not a bad option, really, and
Why don't we make a suggestion? Can you check with Hubbard's to see if we can get a dumpster on Friday?
I can. see
I mean,
if
it wouldn't
can-
have to be a 40-yarder. You know,
You can see if I can get a container.
I'm just wondering if we don't offer recycling, are we violating conditions of our permit?
If it doesn't work, you can't put it in there, right?
Yeah.
and you don't want it spread around over there.
I mean, we can get some in there because
The day that wire,
I can
wire
open it.
broke,
I can open it Thursday or Friday, so it's open and whatever space, this is the second week, so.
Right.
Stuff starts to fall back, so you can't get as much in there, but anyway, I can open it so we can get some in there. And, yeah, I can see if we can get a container.
even a 30-yarder.
I don't know.
Gotta have it low enough to be able to throw the stuff
You
in.
know, just like wouldn't want a 40,
Yeah, it might be.
20 or 30.
Might be a 30. I'll see if I can do that.
You know, we could probably spin it around with the loader so the door was open so you could get into it. You wouldn't have to throw it over the side.
I'll let you, if I get it, I'll let you handle that with Chuck. Chuck and Phil.
Assuming you can get the backup stuff.
Well, they're putting the loader in the garage because plugged in the first time they tried using it. They had a hell of a time to get started when it was just plugged in, so maybe the block heater's not working.
Oh, really?
So he was gonna try to find out today what the return, how soon we could get the backhoe back here. But it's up in John Deere's hands now. Personnel,
Yeah, I'll move that we enter executive session.
So. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for all your help in the budget night. Well, thanks for coming, Chris. We hope to see more of you here shortly.
paperwork due by noon, by 5 o'clock on Monday.
Be at work.
Is it Monday?
Yeah.
Is it on
Is
Monday?
it Monday? Thanks, Dorothy. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Do you need any signatures?
I do not. Don't have any paperwork.
You print something out for you.
This is all the signatures you need, right?
That's right, we can do it all right here.
Like too much fun.
Good night, everybody, stay warm.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
What do we got for tonight?
Guys, good to see you.
8:45,
8:45?
8:44, that says.
8:44 it is.
Don't stay too long.
I know you're probably busy
Thank you,
tapping
Chris.
it there on the hill, so
What's that?
you're probably busy tapping already.
I don't think so.
Save enough for Saturday.
Yeah.
Second,
A second.
Okay,
thank you.
are we entered?
Yes.
Move out of executive session
9:08.
at 9:08.
No action at this time.
Well, Carl will discuss. Look for documentation with a town resident.
Information.
And no other action, no official action taken. Anything else for tonight? If not,
Move to adjourn.
Stole it from you.
we are adjourned at 9:09 PM. Thank you, gentlemen.